The impetus of this is a post on healthcare. If someone would have said to me, I'm going to write a post about this, and the headline is going to be this, I would have gone, don't waste your time. And in 48 hours, it did 1 million page views. So now I'll turn it over for you to talk a little bit about how you got to this space.
It was an accident, as most things that work out are. I myself was in the hospital. I was 47 years old. I had to have heart surgery. And it was really somebody who I met there. You know, when you have these operations these days, they get you out of bed incredibly fast. And they came for me about 4 hours after I was back from intensive care, said, time to go for a walk. They pick me up, I'm all hooked up to stuff. They take me down to the end of the hall and they pair me up with my walking buddy, who is a 75-year-old man who walks with a cane and had just had a heart transplant. I'm 49, he's 75, and we start walking down the hall and he's getting ahead of me. And I said something rude to him and he started laughing. So we became friends. What I learned getting to know this man is that he had had heart troubles since his early 50s. He was a guy who did everything you're supposed to, always had a job, always paid the premiums, had health care through work, but it wasn't enough. He was underinsured, and it had ruined his financial life. And I thought, well, that makes no sense. So that set me off on my inner academic kind of came out, and I started to study healthcare policy, just as a whatever, a hobby, whatever you want to call it.
I've always said that if you really understand your area and you really feel confident about your knowledge of the topic, contributing online and building a brand around that is just, it's not easy.
It's hard work, but
it's hard
not
work,
painful work.
but it's exactly. And you have to have a certain degree of confidence about what you're saying, not arrogance.
You have to have a comfort in your writing style. You know, I had developed something when I wasn't writing fiction in the entertainment business. I was always most comfortable writing the way I speak. Now that turns out to be a useful thing, and it's not that I trained for that or went to school for it. It was just what was natural for me. I didn't know it was a good thing or a bad thing. Turns out it's a good thing. The other key to making that work is, as you know, I've always participated very heavily in comments.
Yes, we want to talk about that.
That's important. And I think that's been a key because while the people in the main disagree with what I'm saying, they're surprised, I think, when I respond to them, and I respond to them respectfully. You'll see comments where they say, I really appreciate you responding to me in the way you did.
And how much time does that take?
A lot. Far more than writing the piece. Far more. It takes a lot of time.
Is it rewarding?
Most of the time. Yeah, this one, it was interesting. It got a little bit away from me. It was overwhelming. There were so many, and I was also getting so many emails, you wouldn't believe it. Because I tell people where they can reach me, and a lot of them took me up on it. And I really feel responsible to go back to those people. Honestly, I don't understand anybody who's writing for the internet, writing online, who doesn't respond to their comments. And I notice that most people don't. Why are you having a comment section there if you're not going to pay attention to them?
So this post, there was a post about Obamacare and a arcane point to some degree. When you decided you were going to write about it, one, why did you decide? Two, did you have any idea? And was it just something you did?
This has been on my radar. As you know, I followed the legislation on Obamacare very closely. I've always thought that people have completely misunderstood it. It is not the big deal that everybody thinks it is. I don't care which side you're on. It's an interesting law. It's a starter law. It does force insurance companies to behave a little better than they were behaving. It should bring more people into the healthcare system, which is a good thing. Beyond that, it's not that big of a deal. But there was one thing. There was one thing that I noticed right from the start, and that was this issue.
So you've been following, you were getting ready, you've been waiting for that day.
Waiting for the rules to come.
We're waiting for the rules to come. Did you have any idea it would be of that much interest to people?
No, goodness no.
What do you think it was? Was it the headline? Was it the interest of people? And
I think it was the headline. I think there were two things that I did somewhat consciously, if you put the word Obamacare, bomb, and explode, this is a good headline. But I did one other thing. I led readers to think I was about to trash Obamacare because I said the bomb in Obamacare went off today. Well, most people think of that as a negative story. It wasn't a negative story because to me the bomb was something that was going to change the world for us in a good way. I think that was part of it. And in a way that might have been cheating a little bit.
So are you a journalist?
I don't know.
Are you a expert?
I'm more comfortable saying I'm an expert. I am.
You're an expert who communicates with an audience.
Hopefully, yeah. And hopefully in a way that they learn something and have a good time. Because of my background maybe, I do understand that all communication, all media communication is show business. And it's, you know, Roger Ailes, who is not somebody who's in my political sphere of thinking, said something that anybody who wants to work in this media has to understand and accept. I don't care if you're writing, you know, online digital newspaper, whatever it is, whatever you're doing. He once said that if you put two people on a stage, one of them has the solution to the Middle East, and the other one is going to fall into the orchestra pit. Which one do you think people will watch? I thought that was really good because it's true. And as much as serious people want to believe otherwise, it doesn't change the truth of it. So you can feed people serious information, but if you don't do it in a way that they're enjoying, what's the point?